students, I hope all of you doing well. Welcome to your own channel, Vedantu Science Olympiad students. This is Baswa Raj, sir, your biology master teacher students. Welcome back, all of you. Now, in today's class, we will be studying about human heart. What is lub? What is dub? The entire cardiac cycle in today's class. Basically, how does the heart, human heart functions? How does the blood flows from one side to one more side? The entire working of a heart you will learn in today's class, students, and we will be learning with the help of beautiful simulations like this. Can you see here? This is your entire human heart. Now, in this human heart, what is this valve here? What is the valve here? What is the middle part here? Can you see the entire Purkinje fibers? So we will be learning the entire anatomy of your human heart with the help of animations and the entire procedure in today's class. So all of you students, quickly let me know in the chat right now if I'm audible and visible to all of you students. Quickly in the chat, all of you. Let me just close this because we'll come back to this later on, students. We'll come back to this later on. Okay. So students, quickly let me know in the chat right now if I'm audible and visible to all of you. Students, quickly in the chat, all of you. Quickly in the chat. If I'm audible and visible to all of you. Yes? I'm audible and visible? Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Now, before we start the human heart, there's a small concept which we need to tackle. A small concept which we need to tackle. That is the circulatory system. किस तरह का circulatory system पाया जाता है? Right. If you broadly classify the circulatory system, we have two types. One is called as open, one is called as closed. Now, we have learned this already in the chapter Animal Kingdom, students. Okay. Right. Mine is going good, students. Mine is going good. So we have learned about all of this open and closed circulatory system in your Animal Kingdom. So let me just revise all of you one more time. Let me just revise all of you. Okay. So all of you should know there are two types of circulatory system. दो तरह के होते हैं, दो तरह के होते हैं. One is called as open, one is called as closed. Now, can anyone tell me which one do we find in our body or in the phylum Chordata? Which one do you find? Do you find open or closed? While you answer, let me explain what is the difference. Now, what exactly happens in the case of open system, students? Open. In the case of open circulatory system, there is no capillaries here. There is no capillaries here. You can see the heart is pumping the liquid here, the fluid blood, and all of this blood is completely released in the tissues. It is released. All the organelles here, different organelles are completely drenched. But when I say drenched, सारे के सारे organs blood में भीग गए हैं, पूरे भीग गए हैं. Like बारिश में भीगते हो ना, जैसे आप बारिश में भीगते हो, उसी प्रकार से सारे के सारे organelles यहाँ पर blood में भीग गए हैं, पूरे सारे organelles. Okay, so the fluid called as hemolymph pumped by the heart through the vessels into open space or body cavity. इस बॉडी कैविटी में ना सारा का सारा ब्लड ऐसे ही निकल रहा है. So all the organelles are completely covered by the blood. Now that is called as what, students? That is called as your open system, students. Open system. Okay. Now any students? Any doubt here, students? That is called as your open. Any doubt here? Okay. Now that is called as open. Example is arthropoda, students. Now if you can notice here, from the heart, all the blood is released as such. From the heart, all the blood is released as such into the body. This is open arthropods. Now what happens in the case of closed? In the case of closed circulatory system, there is proper capillaries. Blood is not escaping. Blood is not escaping into cavity. All the blood is traveling through a small, very tiny tube-like structures called as capillaries. See here, students. These are called as capillaries. So all the blood will be just exchanged through the capillaries. Blood is not released outside. All the organs are not drenched or not covered by blood here. Organs are not covered by blood. You can see there are capillaries, students. This is called as closed system. It is called as closed system. It is found in the case of your annulates. It is found in the case of chordates. So in the case of chordates as well as your annulates, we can find closed circulatory system here. Students, any doubt here? Anyone, any doubt, students here? Anyone, any doubt here? All of you know what is open and closed circulatory system right now. Open all the blood is released as open हो गया blood पूरा, blood हर जगह जा रहा है. Now in the case of closed, it is completely contact with the capillaries. Okay, all of you clear, students? Clear? Any doubt, students here? Any doubt here? Quick. Any doubt here, students? Okay, I assume there is no doubt, students. Now let's start with the entire different types of circulatory pathways. Here you don't have to worry much. You have to remember the examples here, that's all. Now, for example, in the case of your fishes, we have two chamber heart. Okay, we have two chamber heart in the case of fishes. That is, we have two chambers here, directly it goes. Okay, two chamber heart, students. In fishes, the heart pumps out the deoxygenated blood, which is oxygenated by the gills and supplied to the body parts from where the deoxygenated blood is returned to the heart. So, single circulation. हार्ट में ना लाइक हार्ट से एक ही बार निकल रहा है ब्लड और एक ही बार आ रहा है. सो सिंगल सर्कुलेशन इज सीन हियर बिकॉज देयर आर ओनली टू चेंबर्स. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, आई विल गिव दिस वन एट द एंड ऑफ इट. सो ओनली टू चेंबर्स, स्टूडेंट्स. नाउ इन द केस ऑफ योर amphibians and reptiles, there are three chamber heart. But even though they are three chamber heart, even though the blood is coming to heart two times, all the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood is mixing up here. Okay. So students, see here, amphibians and reptiles, obviously except crocodile, have three chamber heart with two atria and single ventricle. So students, you can see here, two atria is present here, and a single ventricle is present, students. Here, you can see here, students. Once again, here, this is one, this is second one. And this entire thing is the one single ventricle. Bottom is the single ventricle there. Okay. So in this ventricle, what happens? Is that all the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood both are coming to the ventricle itself. So both are mixing up there. Okay. So see, in them, our left atrium receives oxygenated blood from here. See, oxygenated blood is coming from here. Oxygenated blood from the gills, lungs, skin, and the right atrium gets the deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood is coming. Okay. Now, however, they get mixed up in the single ventricle, which pumps out the mixed blood. So they're getting mixed up in the ventricle eventually. Okay. Now, students, humans have, all of you know, humans as well as all the mammals and birds. All the mammals and birds have the four chamber heart, two atria, two ventricle. Proper four chambers are separated out. Four chambers are completely separated out here. Okay. So let's start with the human heart, students. Shall we start, students? Today's class you will understand. In today's class, सबको पता चलेगा कि ये हार्ट बीट, what is the meaning of this heartbeat? Heartbeat होने के टाइम पे क्या क्या हो रहा है? How is the movement of blood? Now, along with the movement of blood, are there any valves open and closing? We will learn all of that right now, students, right now. Now, before we start human heart, can anyone tell me, is human heart present on the left or right side? All of you. Is the human heart present on the left or in the right side? Quickly, students, in the chat. All of you. Is the human heart present on the left or right? Students, technically speaking, human heart is present right in the middle itself, in the thoracic cavity. It is just that it is towards left, it is tilted. So it is present in the center itself, but a small tilt is there towards the left. That's all. It is not present somewhere here. No. It's in the center itself, but tilted towards left a little. Okay. Now, students, the human circulatory system, also called as blood vascular system, consists of a muscular four chamber heart. So हमारे पास क्या है, स्टूडेंट्स? हमारे पास a muscular four chamber heart है हमारे पास. Four chamber heart है हमारे पास. Okay. Now, a network of closed branching blood vessels, the blood and the fluid which is circulating from the blood through the lungs and the rest of the body through the blood vessels. So, apart from heart, there are a lot of blood vessels coming into the heart, going out of the heart. So we will learn everything one by one. So students, let me show you the four chambers, students. Let me show you the four chambers. Can all of you see, students? Can all of you see the board? Can you see, students? Here we have one chamber. Here your second chamber, third chamber, fourth chamber. Two atria here and two ventricles at the bottom. Ventricles, two atria. So that is the human heart. That is the human heart. Okay. Now students, here in this particular animation, you only see a few blood vessels. But you know there are how many blood vessels here? Let me show you students. Let me show you the different types of blood vessels here. Okay. You will be shocked. You will be shocked how many are actually there. See here. This is how the human heart actually looks like. Can all of you see, students? The entire muscular organ here, which is continuously beating, two atria, two ventricle at the bottom, and we can see a lot of blood vessels coming in and going out here. This is how the heart looks like. And students, and throughout the heart, can you see right in the middle? This is the AV node here. Don't worry, I will teach you what is this middle part here. I will teach you what is entire middle part here and how this entire middle part AV node, right? Entire AV bundle. How do they play important role in the entire beating also? Okay, so you will understand every single point in the next 30 minutes. So I want all of you to pay very ultimate attention right now. Students, shall we start? Shall we start human heart? Yes. Shall we start, students? The main topic of this chapter. Yes. Yes. Shall we start, students? The main topic right now. Okay. Let's talk about human heart, students. Now, all of you know the location. All of you know the location. Location is the middle right here, students. Right here is the thoracic cavity here. Okay. In this thoracic cavity, the heart is located right here. Now, is it located towards the center itself? Almost towards the center, but it is tilted towards left a little. It is just little tilt is there. Small little tilt is there. The heart, okay. Now, where is the heart developing from? During the germ layers, right? Different germ layers we have, right? Now, from different germ layers, the heart is actually developing from the middle layer. Can anyone tell me which is the middle layer when we talk about germ layer, students? Which is the middle layer? Anyone who can tell me? The middle layer is called as mesoderm. So, the entire heart is developing from the mesoderm. Okay, so the heart, the mesodermally derived organ. So it is originating from the mesoderm, the middle layer. It is situated in the thoracic cavity. This middle part is called a thoracic cavity, students. Thoracic cavity in between the two lungs. See, between the two lungs, right in the thoracic cavity, but slightly tilted to the left. Slightly tilted towards the left, students. Okay. Next you have to do animal kingdom. Okay, you can finish animal kingdom actually. You can finish animal kingdom. After that, you can do biomolecules. Don't worry. Now, what is the size of a heart, students? All of you, open your hands and do a fist. This is called as a clenched fist. This is called as what? Mutti. Bani hui mutti. This is called as clenched fist. This is the size of the entire heart. So try to keep it here. Try to keep it here, students. This is the actual heart right now, just right on the inside, right like this much is your heart. Okay, now students, now clenched fist. Now, is the heart covered by any type of protection, students? Do you think? Yes, the heart is actually completely protected on the outside, on the inside, and in the middle there is a fluid also. Right in the middle there is a fluid also. Okay, so the layer is called as pericardium. The layer is called as what, students? Pericardium. There is something called as inner pericardium, outer pericardium. Let me show you. Let me just draw and show you, students. Let me just draw and show you. If this is the heart here, let's say I will draw one mediocre heart, students. Itna acha nahi aata hum. Two atria and ventricles here. Okay. This is a very simple diagram of a heart. Two atrias and ventricles. Atria and ventricles, students. किसी तरह से हार्ट नहीं दिख रहा है, हार्ट नहीं दिख रहा है, पता नहीं क्यों. अभी स्टूडेंट देख लो थोड़ा. Students, adjust करो. Now, this entire thing has outer pericardium. This is one pericardium is here. This is inner pericardium. और उसके ऊपर और एक पेरिकार्डियम है, उसके ऊपर और एक पेरिकार्डियम है. So there are inner and outer. There is something called as outer pericardium and inner pericardium. See, this is called as pericardium. Pericardium is a sheet around it. Okay, so outer pericardium and inner pericardium. और इस दोनों के बीच में स्टूडेंट्स क्या है? इस दोनों के बीच में पेरिकार्डियल फ्लूइड है, इस दोनों के बीच में, है ना. सो यहां पर बीच में क्या होगा स्टूडेंट्स? बीच में होगा पेरिकार्डियल फ्लूइड. Pericardial fluid is present in the middle, students. Okay, so we have inner pericardial, outer pericardial, and right in the middle pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid will help in absorbing the shock, any type of shock. So the layer is called as what? Pericardium, here students. Pericardium. Okay. Now let's come to the chambers. Now let's come to chambers right now. So I told you there are 4 chambers. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 chambers here, students. First we have the right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. So heart has how many chambers, students? Heart has how many chambers? We have 4 chambers right now. Okay, students, we don't need microscope for this. It is visible if you cut open. Okay, heart. Okay, so right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. Okay, so right. So if you draw it here one more time, students, the simple diagram which I am drawing from that time, you can see here also. This is your right atria, left atria. This is your right ventricle and left ventricle. That's all. 4 chambers, students. 4 chambers. Okay. You can see here also one more diagram is given, students, here. In this diagram, if you can notice here, all of you, very clearly you can notice, students, here. Let me just open the highlighter. Now see here, students. Here we can see the entire right atrium here. Right atrium, then this entire thing is called as your left atrium, students. Left atrium. Then this is the right ventricle, left ventricle. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are in total 4 chambers, students. There are how many, students? There are 4 chambers present here. Okay. Now if you notice very clearly here, if you notice, there is something called as SA node. SA node is present here, and AV node. Now what are these 2 nodes? I will teach you later on, students, because these 2 nodes, the pacemaker and pace setter are very important. We'll learn about them later on, students. Now apart from the students, all of you can notice there is something called as, all of you, this right here, that is called as chordae tendineae. Now this chordae tendineae will do what? These are fibers here. These are small fibers here. These fibers are pulled. So that this particular valve opens up. Okay, this particular valve opens up, students. Opens up right now. Now between your right atria and right ventricle, between these 2, we can see something called as tricuspid wall. It is mentioned, students, anywhere? Not mentioned? Okay, we'll come to that image. See here. Now, a thin muscular wall called as interatrial septum. Here. Now, all of us know there are 4 chambers. So, you can see here, first, second, third, fourth. Now, in this 4 chamber, students, if you notice, right in the middle, here, there is a very thin layer here. Comparatively thin layer right in the middle. So we'll choose different color. Right in the middle, there is a layer here. Now, what is the meaning of inter? The meaning of inter means what? Between 2 things, inter. So it is called as inter what? It is called as, students, interatrial septum. Interatrial, between 2 atria. So interatrial septum. So between 2 atria. Then what do we call this one, students? Right in the middle, this is much more bigger. This is much more thicker here. Because more pressure goes to ventricles. It is called as what? Inter again. Inter. These are called as what? Ventricles. So interventricle septum. So there are totally 2 septums. One septum between 2 atria. One more, much more broader septum between 2 ventricles. So between two atria, interatrial septum. Between two ventricles, interventricle septum. So between atria and ventricle, there are septum is present right now. Septum is present. Okay. Now septum is present here. Septum is present here. These are two different septums now, students. Now students. Now the atrium and ventricles of the same side are also separated by thick fibrous tissue called as atrioventricle septum. See, first we learned about what? First we learned about this region. All of you, focus. First we learned about this region here. That is interatrial septum. First time. Then we learned about this part here. That is interventricle septum, between two ventricles. This septum is between two ventricles. This septum is present to atria. Now we are talking about different students. Now we are talking about different septum itself. Which septum? Between atria and ventricle. Between these two, this septum right now. This septum. Between these students. Focus. Between atria and ventricle. Between atria and ventricle, we are talking about this septum right now. That is called as what? That is called as atrioventricle septum between these two. Atrioventricle septum here. So there are how many septa, students? First on the top, second at the bottom, then here and here are present. However, each of these septa are provided with an opening through which the two chambers of the same side are connected. Now what is the meaning of this? Now we learned that right now, one septum here, one septum here. That is clear to all of you? We learned that one septum is present here, one septum is present here. This much we learned. Two septums first. Yes. In these two septums, right, there is no connection. They're completely blocked. Full block. Completely full blocked. But this atrioventricle septum is here, right? This septum here. This septum here and this septum here. These two septums have certain openings. Why the openings? These openings are present to interconnect these two. So blood has to flow. So these two are interconnected. So right side is connected to each other. Left side is connected to each other. Now what are these connections called as? They are called as valves. Valves मतलब क्या पता है? जैसे नली का valve तो नली खोलने का, close करने का, खोलने का, close करने का, है ना वो valves. So we have valves right in the middle here. Valves right in the middle. Let me tell you, students. Let me show you. See here, students. Here, can you see the valves here? So this atria and this ventricle, they are connected to each other by the valve here. Now, which valve do you find, students, here? Between the right side. On the right side, we find the tricuspid wall. Here. On the left side, we find bicuspid wall. Now, how does this valve look like, students? These valve look something like this. Cuspids. 3 cuspids are present. 3 different cuspids are present like this. Okay, this is how it looks like. 3 cuspids are present here. 3 cuspids. So tricuspid wall, bicuspid wall here. So these two are connected to each other. These two are connected to each other here. So this much is done. This much is done. So what have we, students? Yes, question will come from the diagram. Okay. So what did we learn right now? Right now we learned that heart is a muscular organ. It is size of a fist. It is present in the thoracic cavity but tilted towards left a little. Okay. Then there are 4 chambers here. Right atria, left atria, right ventricle, left ventricle. There are 4 chambers here. Now, each of the chambers are separate from each other. Right in the middle, students, there are 4 septa here. One septa present between 2 atria, first septa. One septa present between 2 ventricles here. Between the 2 ventricles here. One septa is present here and here. But these 2 septas have something called as openings there. What are the openings, students? The openings are tricuspid wall on the right side, bicuspid wall on the left side. So these are the openings by which blood can flow. Inside. Blood can flow. Okay. So blood can easily flow there. Now, students, now. the opening of right and left ventricle into pulmonary artery and aorta. Now, what is the meaning of that, students? From here, let me just draw and show you one more time, students. Let me just draw this here. Oh, students, once again. See, now we learned that there is one septa present here. One septa is present here. One septa, this is much more bigger septa present here. है ना? यहाँ पर एक septa है. यहाँ पर भी एक septa है. यहाँ पर भी एक septa बना हुआ है. और यहाँ पर भी एक septa है. ऊपर भी एक septa है. But this septa is different. This septa is different. The above septa is different. Different septa here. Okay. There is one septa here also. Here and here. But here there are openings here. There are openings. Here we have bicuspid and tricuspid wall. This is your right atria, left atria, right ventricle, left ventricle. Now, from here we have one different types of your openings of left and right ventricles into pulmonary artery and aorta. So here we have openings of blood vessels. Okay. Now, students, now. Yes. Okay. Now you can see here this one. This one is called what, students? It is called as pulmonary artery. This pulmonary artery will go to lungs. It will go to lungs. It will go to lungs. This one is called as aorta. This will go to tissues. Different tissues. That is the meaning of these two openings here. These two openings. Okay, these two openings. So the openings of left and right and left ventricles. Right and left ventricles open into pulmonary artery. Ventricle is going right ventricle. Left ventricle is going to the aorta. Okay. Now, students, pulmonary valve and aorta valve. Now here also we can find valves also, students. Okay, here also we can find the semilunar valves actually here. Here we can find some valves here. Here also we can find valves. Because it is important, right? You have to control everything, you have to be controlled. So here, this point here and here, we can find semilunar valves. We can find what? We can find here semilunar valves. Okay, semilunar valve. Okay, semilunar valves are present. Now, what is semilunar? This is called as lunar. Semilunar is half. Lunar, semilunar, half. So we can find semilunar valves here. Now, if this is clear, let's go to the next concept, students. Before this, we have to know one more small thing here. The valves in the heart allows the flow of blood only in one direction. What is the one direction? From blood will always flow. Blood will always flow this side. One way flow. But blood will always go out like this. It will go out like this. So there is always one way flow of blood. One way flow of blood is happening. That is from atria to ventricle. Always from atria to ventricles. Atria to ventricles. Not this way. It will never happen that way. Only from atria to ventricle blood flow happens. Okay. The valves prevent the backward flow of blood. So why are valves present here? The main reason for the valves is to prevent the backside flow of the blood. Okay. So I hope till here there is no doubt, students. No doubt. Now let's talk about nodes. Let's talk about different types of nodes here. Nodes. Okay. Before we go to nodes, you need to understand the entire heart is made up of cardiac muscles. The walls of ventricles are much more thicker. Obviously, walls of the ventricles are much more thicker. Can you see here? They're much more thicker than of the atria. A specialized cardiac muscle called as nodal tissues is also present in the heart. Now, where are this nodal tissue present? There are two nodal tissues, mainly two are there. One is called as your SV node. One is called as your SV node here. One is called as AV node. Students, AV here. AV node. Now both of these nodes are present where? Both of these nodes are present in right atria here. Right atria, right ventricle, left atria, left ventricle. So in this right ventricle, this is called as SV node, sino, right? This is present almost towards the corner. Almost towards the corner right now, students. SV node. Okay. SV node here. SV node and RV node. Now what will these two nodes do, students? These two nodes will mainly, this node, first of all, it will produce action potential, and this will trigger a response in the entire atrium. So this SV node here, students, this SV node here, it will release signals. It is also called a pacemaker. It is also called as pacemaker, SV node. This node will send signals. This node will send signals throughout the atria. Send the signals. Signals for what? Signals for contraction or relaxation. So SV node is sending all the signals, electrical signals. Okay. Now, similarly, AV node is present here. AV node. Now, these signals cannot reach the ventricles. The SV node signals will not reach the ventricles. They will not reach the ventricles at the bottom. So, can we keep the ventricle ऐसा ही छोड़ देंगे? क्या उसको ventricles को छोड़ सकते हैं क्या? We cannot leave the ventricles. So, for ventricles only, we have something called as AV node. Now, this AV node is present right in the septum here, and this AV node also shows branching everywhere. Branching. Now, these branchings are called as Purkinje fibers. These branchings here are also called as Purkinje fibers. Here, Purkinje fibers here. Purkinje fibers. And this SA node in the middle is also called as bundle of His. This is called as bundle of His also. Bundle of His also. Right in the middle. So, both of this SA node and AV node, this main function is to send signals. Send signals here for contraction or relaxation. First signal is sent by SV node throughout the atria. Then we have AV node, which is sending signals through the entire ventricles. To the entire ventricles, electrical signals are being sent for contraction or relaxation. Let me show you one more diagram, students. Let me show you one more diagram. See here. See, right atria, left atria, right ventricle, left ventricle. इस SV नोड से क्या निकल के आ रहा है स्टूडेंट्स? इस SV नोड से ना सारा का सारा सिग्नल निकल के आ रहा है, हर जगह निकल के आ रहा है. This SV node is sending the signal to the entire. SV node is sending the signal to the entire atria only in atria. What is SA? Sinoatrial node, also called as pacemaker. Then here we have AV node. AV node is called as atrioventricle node because it is present somewhere here towards the ventricle side also, pacesetter. Okay. Now this AV node will send a signal to the entire ventricles with the help of the AV nodes and Purkinje fibers. Everywhere the signal is sent to the ventricles also. Signal is sent to the ventricles. And with the help of the signals, the entire heart, all the four chambers can contract or relax. Contract or relax with the help of SA node and AV node. These two are very important for contraction and relaxation. Very important, students. Very important. Okay. Now, if that is clear to all of you students, shall we start with something called as cardiac cycle, students? Last topic for today, students. Last topic for today is called as cardiac cycle. Shall we start? Students, shall we start? All of you. It is complicated, students. It is complicated. Let me show you. Before I start the entire cardiac cycle, let me show you one more image, students. Here. I hope it is visible to all of you, students. I hope it is visible to all of you. This is how the heart looks like. This is how the heart looks like, students. Now, what is this structure, students? What is this structure? First structure. What is first structure called as? Right atria. Right atria. Right atria. Here we have left atria. Right? Right atria and left atria. Now, students, did we learn that in right atria, what do we have? Students, in right atria, what do we find? In right atria, we find SA node and AV node. Shall we find, students? Can we see? Can we see somewhere SA node and AV node? Can you see here? SA node in the far right side and AV node present here. SA node, AV node in the right atria. Okay, so we have the upper board, we have the entire SA node and AV node is present here, students. It is present here. Okay, this is chord end. You can see chord A. This is the entire fibers. This entire thing will be pulled. They will be pulled to open this valve here. Now, what is this valve, students? Between the right side, which valve do we find? Okay. Students, I am doing. I have students. It is botany only. Botany is not that tough. Botany is easy actually for me. So you can see here between right atria and right ventricle. Can we see this part is called as what? This part right here is called as your tricuspid wall. Tricuspid wall is present here, and you can see, students, here the entire interventricle septum, broader in nature, very broad here, is very broad. Now, if you see the left ventricle, so left atria and left ventricle here, both of them have one valve here. Which is this valve, students, here? Bicuspid wall here. Bicuspid wall present here. Okay. Now, if you can notice, students, from this AV node here, can we see a lot of AV bundle is coming everywhere here. It is spreading everywhere. And what are these, students? These structures are called as what? These structures are called as Purkinje fibers. They are called as what? Purkinje fibers everywhere. And this entire SA node and AV node, they will help in the entire contraction of heart or relaxation of the signal is sent. With the help of action potential, small electrical signals are sent everywhere for contraction of atrias, contraction of ventricles everywhere. Beautiful, student, beautiful heart. Okay, tricuspid wall, bicuspid wall. Now you can see here, all students, from this particular from your right ventricle, we have pulmonary artery. Can we see, students? Can we see pulmonary artery? Where is your pulmonary artery, students? Pulmonary artery. It is present somewhere, students. Okay. Okay. Can you see pulmonary artery? Pulmonary artery. It is going to the lungs. Now here we can see aorta from here. From here we can see the aorta here. Okay. We can see the aorta from here. Okay. From the left ventricle. From the left ventricle we can see the aorta somewhere. Now, with that basic information, students, yes, entire opening and closing is controlled mainly by the nodes. Okay. Now, students, where do you find semilunar valves? Can anyone remind me? Students, where do you find semilunar valves? Semilunar valves are present in aorta and pulmonary artery. There, in those places we find the semilunar valves. Okay. Now, students, now let's understand cardiac cycle. The last topic for today is called as cardiac cycle. Okay. All the events happening during one heartbeat is called as cardiac cycle. It happens in one heartbeat, whatever happens. Now, how much is the heartbeat, students? How much is the heartbeat? It is 0.8 second per beat. So 0.8 second it happens. Not even 1 second. One heartbeat is 0.8 second. उस 0.8 second में ना दो तरह के process हो रहे हैं. In that 0.8 second, two processes happening. One is called as systole. One is called as diastole. In this 0.8 second, systole and diastole both are happening in 0.8 second. In systole means what? Systole means contraction. Diastole means relaxation or resting also. So contraction, relaxation. Now in systole, how long does the atria takes? How long does the ventricle take, students? Atria takes just around 0.1 second to contract. Just 0.1 second. 0.1 second to contract. While, students, ventricle will take 0.3 seconds to contract. Now 0.1 second हो गया. 0.8 में कितना बचा, students? 0.8 minus 0.1 is 0.2. It is in relaxed stage. Now 0.3 seconds, that is 0.8 minus 0.3 is how much? 5, right? 5. So 0.5 seconds ventricle is relaxed. So both of them are in just 0.8 seconds. contraction is happening, relaxation is happening. Let me teach you one more perspective, students. Now this is your entire heartbeat. This is your entire heartbeat right now. How many seconds is it? It is 0.8 seconds. कितने अभी देखो 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 seconds are present here. Everything is 0.1 second present here. 0.1 second. Now let's say the outside, students, outside let's say is ventricle. Ventricle. Inside is called as your atria. Now remember, students, atria takes how much time to contract? Atria takes how much time to contract, all of you? Atria takes how long to contract? Atria takes 0.1 second to contract. है ना? It takes only 0.1 second to contract, just 0.1 second. So let's just say यहाँ पर बन गया हमारा 0.1, है ना? Atria का 0.1. Then this is your 0.1 contract. है ना? 0.1 second to contract. That is basically systole. The remaining 1, 0.1, 0.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remaining 0.7 it is relaxed. 0.7 it is relaxed right now. So this atria is relaxed all of this time. Atria is relaxed. Okay. Let's talk about ventricle, student. Let's talk about ventricle. How long? See, both will not contract at the same time. They will not contract at the same time. Atria takes around 0.3 seconds to contract. 0.1, 0.2 and 0.3. Okay. So it takes 0.3 seconds to contract. है ना? 0.3 seconds by ventricle to contract. Now can I tell from here, from this entire area, that is this part here, this part here, this part here and this part here. In this entire region, can I tell in this entire region from here, ये पूरा का पूरा 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 है ना? In this entire region, can I tell both are resting? In this entire region, the atria is resting, that is in diastole. Ventricle also is resting in this part. So in this entire part, both are resting. Yes or no? All of you, both are resting in this part here. This much, both are resting, right? Atria and ventricle both are resting here. So this is called as joint diastole. It is called as joint diastole. Both are relaxing here. Okay. Now students, now let's understand. Now let's try to understand the entire thing with the help of a small example, with the help of 4 different cases how it happens. Okay. So one by one I will explain to you. Write down this part. Okay. All of you students, all of you. Let me just change the pen color, student. Let me just the pen color here for all of you to understand. Okay. Now, student, is it visible to all of you first of all? Is it visible to all of you? Yes? Is the board visible to all of you students? Atria. Right atria. Left atria. Or right ventricle. Left atria. Left ventricle. है ना? Right atria. Right ventricle. Left atria. Left ventricle. Right atria. Right ventricle. Left atria. Left ventricle. Right atria. Right ventricle. Left atria. And left ventricle. Clear students, clear. Now I will just draw 2 valves here only. यहाँ से एक वाल्व निकल के आ रहा है, यहाँ से एक वाल्व निकल के आ रहा है, यहाँ से निकल के आ रहा है, यहाँ से निकल के आ रहा है. I'll draw it like this so it will be easy to remember. See, valves are going somewhere here and here. 3D image, no? For understanding, I'm drawing the valves here. Valves here. ठीक है? यहाँ पर एक valve आ रहा है ऊपर से blood आ रहा है अंदर. Now students, now. All of you, listen to me very carefully right now. Listen to me very, very carefully. Okay. Now, what is first phase? What is first phase, students? The first phase is what? Okay. All of you. What is the first phase? In the first phase, both the right at atria, both the atria and both the ventricles are relaxed. This condition here. So both atria and ventricles both are relaxed. It is called as joint diastole. Here, diastole is relaxed. Okay. So joint diastole. It is called as what? Joint diastole. Joint diastole. In giant diastole, what happens? If it is in giant diastole, everything is relaxing. Will this tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, will it be open? Yes, both are open right now. The tri and bicuspid valves. So I need more space here. What is happening? Tri and bi. They're open. Okay. Set. Both are open. Okay. One second, students. One more photo was there to show you. If you don't remember the valves. One second, students. Where is the diagram, students? Where's the diagram? Let you show you. See here. This is the one tricuspid valve, bicuspid valve. Okay. One second, students. One second. I'll bring the slide back down itself for comparison. Copy. And we'll bring this down. Okay. Okay. Now, students, if these two valves are open, right now, will all the blood flow inside? All of you, tell me. If both the valves are open, will the blood flow inside? Yes, blood is flowing inside. Now, when these both valves are open, blood will keep on flowing in. Now, what about these two valves right now, students? What about the semilunar valves? These semilunar valves have to be closed. These valves have to be closed. If these two valves are not closed, blood will keep on going out. So, semilunar, right? Semilunar valve is closed right now. Now, in this condition, what happens? Students, need more space here. Is closed. So, in this condition, what happens? In this condition, 70% of the ventricles are filled with blood. 70% of ventricles are filled. They're completely filled up here. So let's draw. Let's fill them up. So 70% is filled up with the blood here. Let's fill them up. Done. So 70% is filled up right now, students. 70% is filled up. Completely filled up. That is the case 1, students. That is the case 1. So in case 1 is what happening? Both all 4 chambers are relaxed, joint, diastole. Both atrias are relaxed. Both ventricles are relaxed. And if because of that condition, your bicuspid and tricuspid and bicuspid valves are opened up. Once they're opened up, the blood will keep on flowing. Now, in this case, what happens? The semilunar valves are completely closed in that case. They completely closed in that case. Okay. Now, case 2. Okay. Now, what happens in the case of case 2, students, or phase 2? I would call it as phase 2. Now, in phase 2, what happens? Now, यहाँ पर थोड़ा blood आ गया अभी. यहाँ पर अभी हमारा blood आ गया यहाँ तक blood आ गया है ना. पहले यहाँ तक blood both the ventricles में आ गया blood अभी. Both the ventricles have blood right now. Now, where is the remaining blood, students? All of you. Where is the remaining blood? Remaining blood, some amount of blood is present here. Some amount of blood is still present here. Some amount of blood is still present here. So what do we do? What do we do, students? We squeeze these two. We completely squeeze them. So let's squeeze. So if you completely squeeze, what happens? This entire remaining blood will also travel down. So if you squeeze this, if you completely squeeze the atria, what happens? Entire blood will start to fill downwards. They'll fill downwards. So what is contraction called, students? Sure. So what happens here is that all the atrial systole happens. So completely squeezed it. Now in this condition also, tri and bicuspid valves are still open. They are still open. The tri and bicuspid valves are still open. They are still open. And the semilunar valves, they are still closed. Semilunar valves are still closed here. These two valves are still closed. Semilunar is still closed. Semilunar valve is still closed. Now, but what is the condition, students? What is the condition here? Condition is that 100% of ventricles are filled. 100% is filled completely filled right now. Okay. Now, students, okay. Now, students, what happens? Now, all these two valves are open, blood is flowing, completely filled. Ventricles are completely filled right now. Now, what do we need to do? We need to push the blood out of this valves, Let's do that, students. In phase 3, what happens? Understand. So, if you want to push the blood outside, students, do the ventricles have to contract? They have to contract, because if they don't contract, the blood will not go, right? Blood will be kept here itself. अभी सारा का सारा blood कहाँ पर है? सारा का सारा blood यहीं पर है. So what do we need to do? We need to completely contract the ventricles now. We need to completely press the ventricles to push the blood outside. So that is your third pair, student. Third part, that is ventricle systole. Now, systole is happening. So what happens? Now, we have to, before we do the systole here, we need to make sure that blood doesn't go back also, right? You have to make sure the blood doesn't go back. To make sure the blood doesn't go back, what do we need to do? We have to close the above valves, right? So here tricuspid and bicuspid valves will close. Tri and bicuspid valves are closing. They're completely closing. Okay, they are closed right now. यहाँ पर entry block हो गई है. Now, if you want to push the blood, if you want to push the blood this way, can the semilunar valves open right now? This semilunar valves will open? Yes. So now what happens is that semilunar valves are open right now. Right? They are open right now. So as the semilunar valves open, all the blood will start to flow through the aorta to the tissues, pulmonary artery, back to the lungs. So ये वाला ब्लड जाएगा लंग्स के ऊपर, ये वाला ब्लड जाएगा हमारे अरोटा से टिश्यू के पास. ठीक है? That is the third phase. Now, what happens in the fourth phase, students? Fourth phase. In fourth phase, what happens? जब सारा ब्लड चला गया है ना, in the fourth phase, what happens is semilunar valve will completely close now. Semilunar valve will completely closed. Okay, and one second, we'll write the main part here. That is ventricle diastole. Because after complete contraction here, पीछे पूरा इसको हमने पूरा पिचक दिया इसको पूरा. So now it will relax. No, after all the blood is gone, it will start to relax right now. अभी सारा blood निकल गया है ना, निकल गया पूरा. So this will relax right now. Diastole is relaxed. It is relaxing right now. It is relaxing, students, right now. Relaxing. Okay. So ventricles are relaxing right now, and the semilunar valves now. Semilunar valve is closed because we don't want any more. Everything is done. These valves are closed right now. So we can see the closed valves here. Closed valves. Okay, valves are completely closed right now. Closed. Now, this is the entire flow. I will explain one more time. Listen to me very carefully. Starting, what happens, students? Joint diastole. Now, what is joint diastole? In joint diastole, all the atria and ventricles are relaxing. Jointly, they are relaxing right now. So, both are what? Relaxed. When both are relaxed, what happens? 70% of blood is flowing into the ventricles easily. And if the blood has to flow into the ventricles, the tricuspid valve right here and bicuspid valve right here, they have to open up. They're opened up. But these semilunar valves, they're closed. Why are they closed? To make sure the blood doesn't go out. Now, that is joint diastole. Now, there are some blood remaining in the atrias. So, they have to squeeze both the atrias right now. That is called as atrial systole right now. In atrial systole, what happens? They are squeezing everything. So, all the blood is coming downwards now. That is bicuspid valves and everything is open. And semilunar valves are also closed. Still, they are closed itself. So, and 100% of the ventricles are filled now. Completely filled with blood. Now, what happens? After all the blood is here, we need to squeeze the ventricles now. Squeeze the ventricles. That is, ventricle systole is happening. So, when we are squeezing this, we have to make sure the blood doesn't go back to the atria. So, what do we do? We close both of them on the top. We close. So, tri and bi are closed, but semilunar is open right now. Why is it open? For all the blood to flow. Blood to flow right now. Now, once all the blood is gone, we can relax the ventricles now. We can relax the ventricles. So, both the ventricles are relaxed. Semilunar valves are closed right now. Semilunar valves are closed right now. Now, students, all of you tell me, when you open a door or when you close a door, when do we get the sound? अगर हमने डोर ओपन किया साउंड आता है उतना नहीं आता, थोड़ा कुर्र साउंड आएगा, पर क्रैकिंग साउंड विल कम. बट इमेजिन यू क्लोज द डोर, more sound comes, right? Here also what happens when the tri and bicuspid valves are closing, it is giving, students, lub sound. It is giving lub sound. Lub sound is coming when the tri and valves are closing. Lub. When your semilunar valves are closing here, closed, that gives the dub sound. Lub sound. Okay, so lub dub, and entire thing is happening in how many seconds? Entire thing is happening in 0.8 seconds. 0.8 seconds. Crazy. Okay, so students, that is your entire, right? It is due to the closure of the valves in the heart, outside comes. That is lub and dub. Why? Because of lub? Because of all the starting valves. Okay, that is the sound you hear. The sound you hear is nothing but valves or closing. First, lub sound is because what? Because of the lub sound because of the bi and tricuspid valve closing. Second sound is because of the semilunar valves closing. So closing is giving the sound here in the heart. Closing of valves is giving the sound. Lub and dub. Okay, lub and dub. So we learned there is joint diastole, then atrial systole, then ventricle systole, and then again later on ventricle diastole is happening. Okay, that is entire thing is happening, students. So now before we go, students, we need to understand how much blood is pumped by the ventricles during each cardiac cycle. We learned the cycle now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 phases. How much blood is pumped? इसमें कितना ब्लड है यहाँ पर? इसमें कितना ब्लड है स्टूडेंट्स? कितना ब्लड पंप हो रहा है इसके अंदर? कितना ब्लड पंप हो रहा है? Let's understand students. How much blood is pumped? Okay. See here. Each ventricle pumps out approximately 70 ml of blood, that is called a stroke volume. So from one base because of the ventricle, each ventricle, left ventricle, right ventricle, left ventricle, both of them are giving 70 ml students. Okay, 70 ml. Okay, 70 ml blood is given. Okay, now how much is pumped in 1 minute? Can you see? See, 70 ml in 0.8 second technically, or 1 second, less than 1 second, 70 ml from each ventricle, right? So in 1 minute, how much students? In one minute, it is around 5 liters of blood per minute. Students, 5 liters, not a joke, no? हर एक मिनट 5 लीटर का ब्लड पंप हो रहा है हमारे हार्ट से, and this can increase. Let's say you are an athlete. If you're an athlete, you run fast, heartbeat becomes faster and faster. So if the heart is beating faster, more blood is being pumped. In normal condition, only 5 liters per minute. Imagine in height and tension conditions, more blood is pumped. So be glad you have an amazing heart. Amazing heart you have, which is doing so much of work for all of you. Okay, amazing heart. Cardiac output 5 liters. Okay, so students, I think we'll close here. Students, today's class is over, and this lub dub sound is heard by the stethoscope. We can either hear lub dub sound, that is closing the valve sound. Okay. Total 70, I guess, students. Total 70. That's why we say N2. It's each ventricle, students. Each ventricle. Volume of blood pumped by each ventricle per minute is called as cardiac output. So 70. Total 70. Totally 70. Sorry. Totally 70. Totally 70. And thank you so much, students. Thank you. So students, I'll see you in the next class. Until then, all of you keep studying, keep working hard. Okay. So bye bye all of you students, and I'll see you in the next class. Each is 70.